The backyard brawl is in serious jeopardy beyond this upcoming season, and West Virginia's got a lot of work to do if they want to keep it to stick around. Alabama's got to go if this is going to happen.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up? Welcome back in, guys. My name's Mountaineer Paul. I am your host, and this is Locked On West Virginia, where we're talking some football again today, baby. We love talking about that. Absolutely. Also, want to tell you that this episode is going to be brought to you by FanDuel, guys. Right now, if you bet that first $5 bet over at FanDuel, you can get $200 in bonus bets. That's if you win that first $5 bet. You got to go to FanDuel.com to get started today, Junior. Otherwise, you'll be late to the party. We don't want to be that. I don't know why I started talking like a New Yorker all of a sudden. Going to be late to the party. All right, so I guess where I want to start here is with the backyard brawl. I saw Skylar Callahan put an awesome article out today on this, and it gave me the idea to talk about it again because we all know Neil Brown was adamant about this game getting removed off the schedule, amongst others, and there's a lot of obstacles I think that people don't realize need to happen to be removed in order for the backyard ball to continue. We're also going to talk about the coach rankings that came out today for 2025. Tom Fernelli over at CBS ranked the top FBS coaches. I was pretty surprised where Rich Rod was, where he ended up, who he ended up in front of, but even who he ended up behind. It's a mess of a list in some ways, and we're going to go over that too. Also, I want to talk about offense in football this year. We're going to wait another day on some basketball stuff. I'm waiting to hear some things back. Guys, I want to tell you this really quick before we go. I got a completely the opposite of what I was told yesterday, told to me today by somebody I trust more than anybody else, that West Virginia offered more for Braden Hawthorne than anybody else. Could they be using me? Sure, they could be. But I have seen other places, people send me screenshots of like people like Chris and Mike that have said like, no, like they had the least of the offers. And then I had somebody that's really prevalent tell me today that's not true. I feel like that we're never going to know the truth to this, but I do trust what I was told, that West Virginia offered a lot for that kid yesterday. So we'll see. It'll come out someday. Let's get to the real subject here. The backyard brawl is in jeopardy, and unfortunately for us, it's down to the wire. And due to this coaching change, maybe we're just a little bit behind on, what needs to happen because there is a lot of challenges. So it's going to be in Morgantown. Then there's going to be a 4-year basically hiatus, right? Where no games are scheduled between 26 and 28. The next meeting's scheduled for, it'd be like a 3-year hiatus, September 8, 2029 in Pittsburgh. So there's still time to schedule a game here between the 26 and 28 seasons on both of those seasons, both those years. But the existing commitments that are in place are making this extremely hard, along with how much it's going to cost to pull out. So West Virginia's 2026 challenges. Let's look there first. Home and home series with Alabama, which starts at home in 26, away in 27. Canceling this game is going to incur a very big buyout fee, which West Virginia wants to avoid unless Alabama mutually agrees to postpone. There's also the possibility that the SEC goes all SEC, right? Scheduling a neutral site game against Virginia and Charlotte is locked in and probably will not be canceled between the Cavaliers and Mountaineers. You'd actually like to see that game blossom into a rivalry. And like I said, if the SEC moves to a 9-game conference schedule in 26, that could prompt Alabama to say, okay, West Virginia, we're going to postpone this series and then we can go get Pitt back. But what kind of challenges does Pitt have? Well, they've got 2 non-conference Power 4 opponents, UCF and Wisconsin, plus Miami of Ohio scheduled. Swapping UCF for West Virginia is probably going to be possible, but what about Alabama? If it's not postponed, then there's no reason them doing it. So it's like Okay, you get Alabama taken care of, we'll get UCF taken care of, or vice versa. So obviously, Pitt's not going to make that happen and then not have a game scheduled against a good opponent in UCF if West Virginia can't play ball here. Then you look at 2027. Alabama continues that series. Obviously, we go to Tuscaloosa for the home opener. It's going to be tough, man. It's going to be really tough. I don't know how we're going to do it. And then Pitt still has Wisconsin and UConn on the schedule, two open slots. So West Virginia just needs to get rid of Alabama for 2027. Then you look at 2028. We're going to play Tennessee in a neutral site game in Charlotte. And the thing is Tennessee's on the upswing. We know they could be the best team in college football by 28 if they continue on their trajectory they've been on. Now will they be? I doubt it. But I mean, they'll probably be a top 15 team by then. They're definitely back under Heupel. So obviously, if the SEC adopts that 9-game schedule, that takes care of that game as well. Gosh, man, what a crazy scheduling. I think it was it Oliver Luck still? Are these still all from Oliver Luck or what here? Pitt in 28 has we talked about UConn, Notre Dame, and that's two open slots if they could possibly figure that one out. So cancellation fees are big for West Virginia as far as Tennessee and Alabama goes. UCF has UConn, they have UCF, they've got other significant barriers. And so basically the SEC can make this a lot easier by that 9-game schedule we talked about. But both schools are going to need administrative alignment here to prioritize this rivalry over some financial and logistical concerns, in my opinion. The 26 year is going to be so hard because of Alabama, you got Virginia, you got Pitt, and then they've got UCF. 27 is more moderately feasible because Alabama could be postponed and Pitt's got an open slot. So 28 is probably the most likely year because Pitt does have two open slots, but we have the Tennessee game looming there that's potentially cancelable. So, I looked up all the times Neil Brown talked about this, and it's a lot. Holy crap, you guys won't believe how many times Neil Brown brought up canceling this game. I mean, it took me – I just kept looking it up, different times. On September 9th, 2024, he had a lot to say about this. We need to get our schedule fixed. We're in the process of doing that. It's a game that needs to be played. We got Alabama. That ain't fixed. And so he talked about that. Then same day, he said, I think it's a series that needs to be played. Talking about Pitt. He said, it's just not smart scheduling, slamming West Virginia's past scheduling, including Alabama, advocating for balanced non-conference slate with Pitt as the sole Power 4 opponent alongside a group of 5 or FCS team starting in 2025. Big 12 Media Days, July 13th, 2022, Neil Brown said, it's really important for us to play regional rivalries. The Backyard Brawl, this will be my first opportunity to be a part of it, and our fan base is extremely passionate about that game. So it's a game I would be in favor of playing each year, but we have some work to do to make that happen. So, going back to 22, he was talking about that. And he was on Marty and McGee talking about it. So, he was on after a game, he talked about it after the Backyard Brawl in 2023. And even on X, he said we should play Pitt in every single year. I'm all in on the Backyard Brawl. And he declared his full commitment to the Backyard Brawl, right? So what has Rich Rod had to say about this, though? Because he's our coach now, not Neil Brown. Does he believe that we should continue the series, which I'm sure he does? But is he as adamant about Neil Brown was? Because I think they're two totally different people. I really do. I think Rich Rod thinks we'll just beat whoever's on the schedule. I really do. I think that's how he feels. We'll just beat whoever's on the schedule. I mean, yeah, sure. Is it ideal to play Alabama? Hell no. Is it ideal to play Tennessee? Hell no. Hell no, it's not. Nobody else is doing it. But here we are, right? So got some work to do. And I absolutely think this is a situation where you look at what it would take to make this thing happen. And I just think at the end of the day, it looks like we're probably going to stick with this. Now we're probably going to get one of these years against Pitt, so it may end up only being let's say you get the 20, let's say you get the 27 year or the 28 year, that way you're only 1 year out on the Brawl. You not have 1 year off, you get back 1 year back, 1 year off again, or something along that lines. But I think you gotta try to at least get one or two of these years fixed. So it's not because what we had this last time happen is, and even with the portal era, it's even worse, really. But we have to educate every player that comes in. Like I was talking to Aiden Bustle about it. I talked to other players that have come in about it. They have no idea. He's played at Tennessee. He knows about between the hedges. He knows about playing Florida. No idea about playing Pitt. you know so it's one of those things where I think you lose some continuity amongst the teams, the players that stay on your team, and the new guys coming in. You got to educate them all again, and it's like, we're just now getting this rivalry back to a place to where we're starting to get some hate back, which what we like. So it's frustrating to see, man, but I think that at the end of the day, guys, let's just see how it plays out. I trust Rim Baker. I trust Rich Rod. I think that we'll absolutely get this thing fixed to an extent. I don't know if we can get all the years done. Maybe we can get somebody to donate money. I don't know if it's a money issue or what, but with this, and that's another point you probably can make, is with this new revenue sharing model, part of college football, there isn't nobody's going to give $3 or $4 million away to be done with the series with Alabama. I'd rather just take the non-conference loss or win. I mean, you could win it too. I'm not saying you can't, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're favored to lose that game 9 out of 10 years, right? So, just what it is. That's anybody that plays them outside of Ohio State. Who else outside of Ohio State could play Alabama and be favored? There's not very many. Maybe at LSU an odd year, maybe in Michigan an odd year, maybe in Florida State an odd year, but I doubt it. So yeah, so I just wanted to get on here and talk about that one. I thought like, I liked what I saw, the scholars article, and I thought, well, I have a couple of thoughts I can add to that. And I did a video on this a few years back. And it did really well. We did close to 10,000 views on it. So I thought, well, I'll try it again, see if it'll do anything. So we'll see where it goes. Certainly it helps when the coaches talk about it. And this one's kind of like, the news is slow right now. Like, we were grateful to have Braden Hawthorne's news yesterday, but right now things are very slow as we wait for everybody to report in a week. We got 7 days before the players report in to football. So let's keep an eye on that too. Speaking of football, Rich Rod was ranked, guys, and all of the FBS coaches have been ranked down to 26. Rich Rod is on that list, and you won't believe who they've got in front of him and behind him. Who he's in front of, who he's behind, it's all a mess. We'll talk about it next. Stick around. This episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by FanDuel. We all love FanDuel because it's the best when it comes to the NBA playoffs, and that is in full swing right now. Every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, they've never had a better time to get in the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. If you got a read on who's heating up, jump right in, back up your game with the same-game parlay. How could a $200 in bonus bets add the excitement to your first $5 bet? Well, you got a chance to win. Head to FanDuel, guys, and if you're new, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, $200 for free. Not bad, right? Make every moment more of FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. It's segment 2. We're going to crack it's not a dew, but it's a Starbucks white chocolate mocha thing, and it's big, and my mouth is dry, so don't judge me. Pinky out. That's what Hulk Hogan taught me when I was little. Pinky out. All right, guys. I know. I'm crazy. You guys probably some of you guys probably look at this at the screen as like, how did this nut job get this job? I work for it. Number one, number two. I love the Mountaineers, guys. You guys know that. Okay, so a couple other things we're going to talk about now. We want to get into this coaching ranking, and I'm going to share a screen with you as we go check out Tom Fornelli's coaching ranking here, and then I've got my own thoughts on this. So let's go up to number 68. So starting out with Jeff Lebby, which is pretty wild considering Lebby is the offensive guru that he is. You've got Frank Reich at Stanford, who's only going to be there for 1 year. So it's like, who cares? Like it's they're pretty open about that. Andrew Luck and them, they're not even going to be there a year. Brent Brennan took Arizona and absolutely just down in the tank in 1 year. Tony Elliott at Virginia, which is wild. It's hard to believe he's there still. Dave Braun at Northwestern. Brent Pry at Virginia Tech. Scott Frost at UCF. Deshaun Foster is at UCLA, who I think will ascend. Scott Satterfield at 60. Mike Loxley, you love to see him down at 59. Sharon Moore, shocking to see him here at 58, honestly. I mean, look, no matter what you want to say about him as a coach, as far as, the things that they've done, but I don't see him that low personally. I mean, he's only had a year, right? Sam Pittman at 57 is pretty crazy considering how he started his career. Jake Dickert, who I think is going to just go up from here. Justin Wilcox, I think he goes up from here. Bill Belichick, you got to think, even though there's a bunch of drama, I think he's got to go up from here. Clark Lee is going to go up from here too, I think. Brent Venables is on the downswing. Barry Odom, I don't have any clue. I honestly don't know what he's going to do. I don't know. I didn't feel like Purdue was great. I mean, we almost got him. If he hadn't gone to Purdue, maybe we would have. Bill O'Brien, a very good coach at Boston College. Jonathan Smith, the former Oregon State coach at Michigan State. Joey McGuire is going to probably be the highest riser on the entire list at 48 with what they're doing at Texas Tech and NIL right now. Good night. Hugh Freeze at 47. Fran Brown at 46, who's really resurrected the Syracuse program. I mean, goodness gracious, what he's done there. 10-3. You go 10-3 at Syracuse, you've done one heck of a job. Billy Napier has plunged Florida into the toilet. Manny Diaz, his first year at Duke should be super interesting. They basically trying to recreate what they did with the last coach hired in defensive guy. Greg Schiano at 43. You love to see it at 43, and then you got Rich Rod at 42. I'm curious to see how you guys feel about this. You got Willie Fritz ahead of Rich Rod. Give me a break here. Just the first name on the list. While I love what he did at Tulane, there's no way he's done more than Rich Rod in his career. It's not even close. I got the numbers. Dave Aranda, you got Jed Fish, Luke Fickle. Dave Aranda ahead of Rich Rod? You're stupid. Idiotic. No way. Pat Narduzzi ahead of Rich Rod. What are we doing here? Let me calm down before my blood pressure goes too high. I took a blood pressure pill before this because of this. Honest to God. You mean to tell me you think Pat Narduzzi, he won an ACC championship in 21 with Kenny Smallhands Pickett. You mean to tell me that they've got him ranked ahead of Richard Rodriguez? Nut job. No way. Not happening. And he's going to show him on 9/13 exactly why the hell he's a better coach in his first year with 60 new players. I can't wait. I don't care if we're 0-2 going into that game. I'm still picking West Virginia. Mark Stoops, Sonny Dykes, Mike Gundy, which is way too low for Mike Gundy. You got Deion Sanders ahead of Mike Gundy, which just shows you how stupid this guy is. Mike Gundy's had, one bad year? I mean, it was a bad year. Don't get me wrong. It was a bad year, 3-9. Is this based off last year? I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on here because, I mean, I guess I didn't read the top. Maybe it's based off last year and I'm looking like an idiot. But if that's the case, why is Narduzzi where he's at? The one rule is that the only coaches you can rank are the Power 4 coaches, and that you ranked every one of them. Everyone else is up to the voter. Do our writers value recruiting chops or schematics, the ability to develop 3 stars in the 4-star higher production, or just amass talent and let it figure it out on the field? But there doesn't seem like there's a caveat that they had to win last year here anywhere. Is long-term success more important, or is it what have you done? So it's up for interpretation, and people are interpreting that this is what people think. Dave Aranda is better than Rich Rodriguez. Is that really what people think? Guys, a few years ago, Dave Aranda looked like he was going to be the second coming of maybe the best coach in America, right? Coming out of LSU and everything. I think they won 10 or 11 games his first year. He went 10-2-7, then he went 12-2, but now he's gone 3-9 and 8-5. And yes, they were good down the stretch last year, but let's not pretend like it's been smooth for them. I don't know. I forgot they did get hot last year, but somebody explain Mike Gundy below anybody on this list. How is Mike Gundy not higher? It automatically disqualifies your list. There were a wide range of votes cast for Gundy this year, and I suppose it depends on how you view things. You can't dismiss everything good Gundy has accomplished during his time in Stillwater, but you have to question, is he the right man for the job in Oklahoma State today? Sport is evolving, and Gundy has shown the stubbornness in evolving alongside it. Was last year's 3-9 mark a one-off or the beginning of the end? It's a 1 year, man. I just don't. Good Lord, man. And then you got Deion Sanders climbing 28 spots based on a 9-4 season when he had all the talent in the world and the best player in the nation. I don't know. You're not going to get me to buy it. There's Elko at 29. I mean, what's he really done? You know, like what? Shane Beamer's been okay at South Carolina. PJ Fleck at Minnesota. I don't know. I mean, do you really think, if you look at PJ Fleck, do you think he's better than Mike Gundy? Kalani Sitake had a great year last year. Great year. But has anybody paid attention to what he was before that? He's been there a really long time, and they've had a couple off years that were really good. So, I mean, he's had some consistency there. I'll give you that. But I don't know. This list is crazy, man. There's no way Rich Rod should be where he's at on the list. I did a whole research and workup on all this. So let's see. Where is it? Did I delete it? I may have. Sometimes I get to putting too many things up on the screen. Okay, here we go. So of all the coaches on the list, only Mike Gundy and Rich Rod have more than 100 wins. More than 150, you know? Gundy's 180 and 90. Rich Rod is 190 and 130 with 4 Big East titles, a Sugar and a Fiesta Bowl. I give Rich Rod the Fiesta Bowl because that was his team. You can disagree with me if you want to, but talk to a wall about it. Dave Aranda is 31 and 30 with the Sugar Bowl and a Big 12 championship. But are you telling me that's better than what Rich Rod's done over his career? Belichick at 54 is like a misnomer because he's never coached a game yet. Mike Loxley's 40 and 70. Horrible, man. Kalani Sitake's 72 and 43 with 0 Big 12 championships, 0 playoff wins, 7 bowl appearances. Deion Sanders is 15 and 10. Pat Narduzzi is 81 and 54 with an ACC championship almost 5 years ago now. And the meltdown that they had last year was like an all-time meltdown. They won 7 in a row, then they lost 7 in a row, right? Isn't that what it was? or 6 in a row or whatever it was. And they've got him ranked ahead of Rich Rod, who started out 0-3, then won 8 in a row last year and won his conference championship. Get the hell out of here, man. These people don't know what they're talking about, flat out. Let's go to break, guys. On the way back here, we'll talk about some offense for West Virginia. I'm going to try to put a depth chart together just for fun because, listen, we ain't got a lot to talk about, right? So let's have fun here. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back here, locked on West Virginia, talking West Virginia Mountaineers. All right, so I went ahead and printed out all of our players. Well, we 7 quarterbacks, 7 running backs, 16 wide receivers, 6 tight ends, 22 offensive linemen. Out of that, we got to make an offense. So at quarterback, you know where I'm going. Jalen Henderson and Nico Marchiol are splitting reps. That's where I'm going right now. Until further notice, I'm having them split reps, and then who gets hot. And this might be the route Rich Rod goes. Maybe both guys will play, and then who gets hot and who gets hot, right? Possible. So I've got Nico and Jalen splitting reps right off because I really don't know who's going to win this job. And I just want who's the best to win it, to be honest. Khalil Wilkins is a wild card. I think nobody's talking about a lot, but I've heard a lot of good things about Scotty Fox. Jaheim White at running back. Wide receiver, I'll go Cam Vaughn. I'll go Cam Vaughn, Jaden Bray. This is where it gets tough for me because I believe in some other guys. I'll go with one of the slots. I'll give Rodney Gallagher a chance because I think he deserves a chance to improve. And then I'll go with – it's tough. I want to give Logan Ramper a chance, man, or Jeff Weimer, honestly. I love both those guys on tape. You know that. I'll go with Weimer in the other slot because I think he can play inside and out. He's 6'2", and he's got a lot of really good route running. But I do think Ramper could end up winning one of those outside jobs at some point. He's very similar to David Sills in some ways. At tight end, I'm going to go ahead and play with I got to go with, as a pass catcher, Grayson Barnes, obviously. But I just think Genross has got a chance here. I mean, I think he's in the race. Jacob Barrick is going to play a lot. Offensive line, good Lord. This is so hard, guys. Let me look up and down the list here for a second. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Lenny Livingston wins that center spot. Beyond that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, I'll tell you. I guess I'm going to go with Aiden Bussell. I know some people are going to disagree with me here, but I've got his tape, and I don't think many people have seen it yet. He's good. Aiden Bussell, I'm going to have him at one of the guards. I just believe in him a lot, and I know people are going to accuse me of him coming on my show. That is part of it, but he also sent me his tape, which I was able to watch and be impressed with against Tennessee. He was running with the twos over there and is a sophomore, so I think he's got a lot of upside. At another guard, I'm going to have to go with Malik Agbo. I'm going to go with left tackle Nick Cray. Right tackle, it could be any number of people. It really could. I could see Xavier Bosley making up ground here and winning that job. I could see Tykees Cropper winning that job because of his athletic ability. I could see sheesh, man. Michael Clay could definitely win that job. I mean, he's a big athletic offensive lineman. It's tough, man. I don't envy the coaches, but they're going to get to watch these guys every day. Also, Young Bear's obviously some a player that a lot of people like. I absolutely think he. I don't know. Maybe I have to start him over Bustle. I don't know. It's impossible, guys. For now, until further notice, based on his pedigree and who he was as a high school recruit, and if he can figure out up here, you got to go with Tykees Crawford for now. But it could change, and I believe I want to believe that some of these guys that were here on the last group are carrying the torch from Zach Frazier and those guys. That's what I want to see is like those guys. Because I believe that was a very good offensive line room. Now I believe that we just didn't have the right coach for it, unfortunately. To think that Neil Brown got to coach that great of an offensive line and nothing really to show for it. Just too bad Rich Rod didn't have those players. But no reason to think about it anymore. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. I appreciate y'all. The dude does not abide. Yeah, absolutely. Somebody in the comments wrote, the dude does not abide. That's funny. I appreciate you guys for joining in. This is a slow news day for now, and try to come up with a couple topics to talk about. We got a couple hundred of you guys to show up, which I'll take on a slow Wednesday. But if anything happens tonight, or if we get any rumors or updates about any basketball players, because this, like, we know they're still looking to add a couple pieces. Something's going to eventually shake there. We'll continue to update that. It's going to be tough, but we're going to try. Other than that, guys, thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen and for being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We talk about your team every single day. Check out Brian Smith over at the Portal Show, guys. He's got the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings, and you can be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to the college football landscape. Find the Portal Report on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Rich Rod, man, he's better than Narduzzi, I'll tell you that for sure. Let's see if we can keep this backyard brawl thing going as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one, guys. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you tomorrow. This episode's over, and I'm out.